Hey class, this is a little extra video today. I decided, you know what, I should probably come back and show you if I wanted to check this answer with Desmos, what exactly that would look like. And if you recall, this was the inequality that we solved in a previous video. And we ended up getting that x's are anything that are greater than the number -3. And we did that by, first of all, treating this as an equation, not an inequality, finding our boundary location. Our boundary location was -3. That meant that at that point we had an open boundary point. If we were to look at the graph of the solution, it was an open circle there at -3, and it had been ended up being anything that was larger. Anything that was larger than -3 was a solution, because this, when I plugged in 0, it worked, right? 0 was the side that made it the inequality true. So let's take a look at what this would look like if I was to graph it in Desmos. So one of the things that I've noticed in Desmos is I can type the number 8, and then when I hit shift and the number 6, I get that, it's that little caret symbol. It looks like this on your keyboard. It's just this up arrow, right? When I do that, I definitely get into the exponent. But notice this behavior. If I was to say -2, oops, back in here, I was going to say -2x, and then as soon as I hit -1, it left my exponent, right? It just left it. And I can come back up here and I can be in the exponent, but if I type that minus, it jumps right out of the exponent. So what you need to do is, if you want to say to Desmos, hey, no, stay in the exponent, please, just open a pair of parentheses, right? So now it's 8 raised to the power of -2x and then -1. And then I want to graph, and now I'm going to leave the exponent. I want to do is less than, and then I'm going to do 1/2, there's a nice fraction, and I'm going to raise that fraction to the power of, and I'm going to bring that, again, some parentheses in here, so x minus 1/8. And I think I copied the original problem wrong. Let me see this, because I'm not getting the same answer I got. Oh, it was a +1. It was a +1 before in the original video. So let me change that. This I wrote as a -1, not a -1. This is a +1. Because you know what I just noticed? I'm like, oh, I got a problem, because when I graph this thing, I got the solution x's are those things greater than -4. You can see I'm right there at the boundary lines at -4. So that's not right. So what I do is I'm just going to come in here. That was a +1. Oh, there it goes, right? You can see that boundary line jumped to -3. So I want you to also notice what Desmos is doing here, right? It's got a dashed line right there. You can see the dashes. So that means that that boundary is not included. So for them, instead of using the open circle or the closed circle on the line, they're going to either use a dashed line or a non-dashed line. So a dashed line is going through x is -3. So that is not included, but because it shaded everything to the right, anything above that works. And you can see if I was to come in here and say less than and then do the or equal to, and all I did was I just had my cursor there and typed equal, you can see immediately it switched to a solid boundary line, meaning now -3 is a solution. I could get rid of that. It's gone now. The other thing I could do is, let's switch the directions. Let's say it's going to go greater than. So as soon as I switch that, the entire thing flipped directions, and now it's going the other way. So if I was to plug 0 into this problem, it would give me something that's false. In fact, when we plugged 0 and we got, I think it was 8, this would be saying 8 is greater than, it was 262,000 something. That's clearly not true. 8 is not greater than 262,000. So when I plug in 0 to test, 0 fails, because when x is 0, this became, well, I think I've got the number. I've got it over here. When x was 0, right, when I plugged in 0 for x was 0. When I tested that value, on the one side I got 8. On the other side, I got 262,144. So if I was testing that, that clearly doesn't work. So that's why it flipped the direction there. So anyways, that's it. Just something to think about, that you could grab Desmos. And I wanted to show you, if you do want to do more elaborate things in the exponents anytime, just use parentheses, and Desmos will stay up in the parentheses longer. Okay, talk to you later.